that it went smoothly. Thank you one and all for being Rob Soursby's guinea pigs. It did work well. I will say that the breakout rooms were really a highlight. We had a speaker, and this doesn't sound nice, so I'll be unkind to just say the speaker was a college professor. So used to making presentations, but it was in an area that didn't have that much interest here. But the breakout rooms were definitely fine. I think my suggestion from others is next time, Rob, have more than one. And I made the assignments. In other words, they didn't have the freedom to make their own choices. So I've got some variations that I can do next time. But anyway, it worked out fine. Thank you.
Glad to hear it.
I can report my printer worked just fine.
After how months of?
Since February, toward the end of February till yesterday. And what I did do though is I turned on the power strip and then I turned off the printer just to make sure the print heads cycled as they should during a turn off, and then I turned it on again after I let it sit for a bit. I don't know whether that made a bit of difference or not, but I printed a test page and it all looks good.
Good. Glad to hear it. We'll have to let the bells know that they should be fine with Chautauqua being away.
Well, I will turn it off by the switch on the printer next time. Just to be sure.
Just in case. Cool. Very nice.
Morning, Lynn. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm good.
Good.
For those that did not hear, my brother has COVID and I saw him last weekend for his 30th birthday party. So I've been exposed to COVID. But earlier this week, I had a sore throat, runny nose, head congestion thing, which is normal for this time of year anyway. So, but it was like COVID, not. So I've been testing negative all week. I got PCR and rapid tests. So I think I'm out of the woods. No one else at that party has tested positive other than my brother's girlfriend. So I don't think he was symptomatic when I saw him, like spreading, but who knows? So, but he's had it really bad. He got it from a conference down in Florida. So, don't go to Florida.
Right. Yeah.
I tell Bob and Glenn that.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Ann says hi.
Oh, how's Dan doing?
I'm gonna go see him this afternoon. He says he's better than he was, but I'll have more details when I come back.
He's not home yet, is he? He's still.
No, he's out in Coatesville.
Good. Please send our love. Cool. So, tech questions of the day. I know Ms. Renee has some. Anybody want to start us off?
I have one.
Okay.
Do you know how on my new M1 computer to find out what version of photos I have? Because it's not like I can get on, I can look at photos on my phone or and it'll tell me what version it is, but or actually if I look here, it says it's version 7, but I don't know what it's supposed to be on a new computer. I'm still trying to sort out my issue about photos not being in the right place.
Think. I don't know if I can look up an update for version for I can see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Other than the OS.
Well, the whole computer's quote unquote up to date, but when I click on a photo in Photos, it says the version is 7.
So where do you see that in Photos? Under preferences?
Under about.
About.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got photos version 7.0.
Oh, okay, so it's the right version. It just doesn't have all my old pictures. I mean, my new pictures, whichever. My recent pictures, I should say.
Right. And the thought we had last time was there was a different iCloud account from before, which you're now using, if I remember correctly,
Uh,
because you changed your email.
right. Okay, well, I'll just have to call. I'll just have to get a Genius Bar or something if they still have those things. Do they still have them?
They do. I went to the Genius Bar last Thursday or last Saturday, and they wiped my phone and wouldn't let me restore from backup because I was having a hum when I would play recordings of videos that I recorded
Oh.
on my phone. And they're like, I did, all the things that I know how to do. So I went to them. They're like, well, this is unusual. We've not seen this one before. They're like, well, let's wipe it in case it's malware, but we don't want you to restore from backup. And of course, in the Apple Store, you can't hear auto recording if it's humming or not because the room is so loud, you can't
Yeah.
tell. So they're like, go home, check it out. If it's, I didn't bring AirPods and they did not offer. So I'm going to bring my AirPods today. But they're like, they still didn't fix it. So I have an appointment this afternoon where they're going to take it and they are not going to just give me a new phone. They want to keep it to work on the hardware. So I'm going to lose my phone for 24 to 48 hours.
Oh
So
my
Well, they
goodness.
give
you try
you a new
contacting
phone.
However,
me,
will you survive?
it will be a good practice for me.
Tell them to give you a new phone.
That's what I'm like, it would just be easier to give me a new phone.
Exactly.
I'm sure it's a little teeny part broken inside that's making a rattling noise.
But Lynn, if you had malware, if you did have malware on that phone, wouldn't it be on the backup as well?
That's why they didn't want me to restore from a backup.
Right. So how do you restore it?
It's all new. So I lost
You
most
lost
everything.
Oh my God.
Lynn, if your backup is on an external drive, is there any way they can clean the drive without losing your info?
Well, I have the info, but it's a phone, so it's not an external hard drive.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
So
Yeah.
I have like my contacts from the cloud and stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, that's the woe of Lynn. So yes, Genius, short of that story, is the Genius Bar does exist. I will be there this afternoon.
Maybe we should all meet up.
Right.
You can you can actually message them and you can schedule an appointment, or you can talk with them over the phone. So whatever you prefer.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Renee's time.
Saga of Lynn. Let's move on to something more interesting.
Yes.
Okay. So yes. I know Miss Renee, would you like to look at your stuff
Hello.
so we don't forget?
Oh, if you have time. Let's remember what I asked you. I had too many. So okay.
Let me pull up your email.
Lynn is so organized. She answered them in her email. 1, 2, 3. And I thought, oh, what were my questions? I forgot.
So
I got the first one.
your email is not
Yes.
syncing on your desktop versus your phone.
That is correct. But interestingly, just this morning, I brought the
Bless you.
laptop up to be in the same room as the desktop. And this picture came up and it says, and I took a picture of it. It says, let's finish setting up your device. And that is associated with the laptop. So maybe I just didn't finish setting it up when I got it for Christmas. And that could be why I can't do anything. Do you think that's right?
It's possible because your email is Gmail, correct?
Yes.
So it's all cloud-based. So it should, if you delete somewhere, unless it's being saved on the computer hard drive, it should sync everywhere.
Yeah, because I had that frustration yesterday. When I wrote that, I said, oh, I have to ask her because I come upstairs on the big computer because it's big and I delete or read. And then later on, I just check my phone, see if there's anything on it. And all those emails are still there, unresponded. So maybe I should finish setting up my device and then ask you if I have a question.
I'm impressed that you didn't set it up yet. Like, I would just want to get my fingers on.
Well, I guess I relied on my son and I thought he had done something more than just set me up with a password. So I'll finish setting up my device and then we'll find out if I'm just as goofy. I did think of another question. Okay, I happen to be looking on my credit card bill and it says I'm charged 99 cents for iTunes. I don't remember signing up for that. So how do I delete things that are
So
is iTunes the same as Amazon Music? Just different sources?
So iTunes is Apple's
Right.
payment plan. Google Music is Google. So it would say Google or iTunes. There is a storage plan that Apple does that I know a couple of us use that is 99 cents and you get 50 gigs of iCloud storage. Once a month, they charge you $1.
So that is different than iTunes.
It could be under it. They could be showing up on your bill as iTunes, but it probably is that. If I'm guessing correctly, if it's a monthly reoccurring bill you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there are songs on iTunes, if you pay for one song, there are some that are 99 cents.
I see.
Back when they started, everything was 99 cents.
Right. So since I don't even know I have it and I've never gotten a song off there, I should get rid of that iTunes thing.
Do you have an iPhone or do you have an?
I'm sorry.
I said, unless it was from the memory, did you sign up for extra cloud space?
Well, I do see the 99 cents for the 50 that you were talking about, the giggy who, but then I also have one 99 cents for iTunes.
My guess is you accidentally bought a song if you have two, if you have one for the iCloud with the 50 gigs and I'm guessing because there are a few songs on there that are 99 cents. Right. Does it say what it's for other than iTunes?
No, in fact, and I know I went back on past bills and I have it every month. So I guess I'm paying for something I didn't even know I had. So I'll
You're probably paying for the iCloud 50 gig storage.
So Amazon Music is another source.
That is Amazon's version of that same platform.
Okay. Well, it says Amazon sent me an email saying I have it free because I'm Prime. So I guess I'll get one.
Did you, if you ordered a movie or something like that through Amazon Prime, you might have that show up.
Okay. All right. Well, since I have not ever downloaded any music ever, I will remove those things from my bill. Thank you.
Yes. I do have a general question.
Yes.
Which I just thought of. Yesterday, as I was about to pay my bills, I looked at it's right here in front of me, my Xfinity bill, and I'm always annoyed at how much it is, but I don't take the time to see why it's going up, up, up. And I just pay it. Yesterday, I actually took the time, and I went back to look at the history for the last 5 years. And I'm paying like $272.26. It's like exactly doubled in the past 5 years. So it
Mhm.
goes up, 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 but not, the service hasn't doubled. So I made that call. It was aggravating because they make you do a handstand to talk to somebody. You have to be perfect at the handstand. After a half an hour, you can finally, and you're so frustrated by then. I tried to be civil to the person. She was very nice. Okay. And what she did, I'll just keep it real simple. We kept the same service. And they switched me from Verizon Wireless Unlimited to Xfinity. Now, here's the question. I mean, here's the great thing. Between the two, I will save $1,600 a year. So it was worth my aggravation. Yes, yes. But I'm not up to speed on the memory measurements. So what Scott and I typically use in a month would be, we come to the 2 gigabytes with Verizon Wireless. That's real typical for us. Scott uses 3/4 of that. I don't quite understand that, but I don't need to. I have Pandora, the free version. I am now using Pandora in my car. And I put on a lot of miles every month. The
Mhm.
reason I got the unlimited was to accommodate the Pandora. Right? Does that sound right? Okay. She's asking me how much I need, and she wouldn't give me an unlimited. She said, no, that's not necessary. So they gave me, and this is my question, 10 gigabytes. She said that should be more than enough for you and Scott to do your business and and listen to Pandora when you're on the phone, in the car.
Mhm.
Is that true? Do you
Mhm.
think 10 gigabytes is good? Okay.
Um,
See, that's my question, because I'm not like doing apples to apples. I can't compute that.
mhm. My parents had the same conundrum a couple years ago because my dad was like, unlimited, we need unlimited. And because that means we can do enough. But the reality is most people don't, unless you're watching videos 24/7 on your phone,
Mm-mm.
you probably don't need that. I'm guessing 10 gigs is fine for your purposes. Because it's just, you're just texting, emailing, and streaming music, and
Is that what Pandora is? Is that streaming music?
it's
Is that what that's
streaming
considered?
music.
Okay.
Mhm. It's going to be less gigs to do that than to do video, and streaming video would be like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, that kind of stuff.
But that would be on your phone, which we don't. We just do Netflix on the TV.
Yeah, you should be fine with that.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
yeah, when my family switched over to the shorter plan, my dad was making it a habit of watching Jimmy Fallon on his phone when he was riding his bike, and it ate up all our data. And so we were like, Dad,
Yeah.
you can't do this anymore, it's dangerous.
Right.
And
Okay.
there's not
Yeah.
enough. But yeah, for vast majority of people, and it sounds
Okay.
like it's a low number, but it's
Well,
there's-
it's only going to be for both Scott and I for the 10. It's going to be $62 a month, and we were paying $127 with wireless, Verizon Wireless. It's
Mhm.
just astonishing to me, as I told Scott, how they never call you and say, we can save you some money. All they do is jack up your
It's your
bill.
job.
Exactly. It is my job, Stephen. You're absolutely right. Oh, I have another little question. She
I
said,
call every few months
yeah,
just to see if there are any current discounts for my cable company, because some of them, as long as you agree to a new contract, which I'm not going anywhere, so I don't have a problem doing that, they'll make adjustments to your bill and save you some money.
Right. That is, it made, you know what it made me think was I should be looking for other possibilities in my bills where I can get it a lower rate, because the $1,600, it was actually a little bit over, but that's a lot of money to save from my hour-long, say, conversation. Here's the other question. She said to me, she said, if you take, I thought she said DVR. I thought that's what she said. She said, if you take your DVR back to Comcast and it's nearby, you can save $10 a month.
That makes sense.
I don't, is DVR that it's about,
The
it's a flat box that, is that it? That's the
Mhm.
DVR. Okay. Here's another question. We have 3 TVs. Does the one DVR work on all TVs?
It depends.
It depends on how you're going to use your equipment. If you have recorded stuff and Scott wants to watch one thing and you want to watch the other, you might need 2 DVRs.
Yeah, we don't. No. Okay, but thank you for that. And you know, Scott uses it. I asked him last night, hey, Scott, we can take it back and save $10. But he really does use it to record things and then he watches them later, like Channel 12. He watches Teddy Roosevelt over and over and over again, whatever. But so $10, we can do that. So that's good. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in there with me.
Gail,
I
may
wonder if
I-
you're renting that box. Maybe they're charging a rental fee.
I
Mhm.
did tell Scott, I said, you know what? Think about it, Scott. Like $10, that's 120 a year times 5. DVRs can't be that much money. Should we be buying one ourselves? Is that possible? No?
I don't know enough about DVR because I don't have one.
Oh,
But they do that with routers too.
Mhm.
You can rent it for $10 a month, or you can pay the $100, and then it's the same thing. You save your money in the long term.
right.
So,
You can buy a DVR.
oh, there you
You
go.
can. Okay.
So if
Usually they're designed to work with closed circuit TV systems. So you have to make sure it has a tuner.
Okay. You know what, Stephen? It might be out of our mental capacity.
Ah,
We did buy a modem, a new modem, and they said, make sure it's a Comcast approved for voice and
Yeah.
whatever. So that might be the same with a DVR.
It usually says that right on the box anymore, whether
Oh,
it's
does it?
compatible with Comcast.
mhm.
Okay.
Gail,
Good
I wanted
information.
to ask you a question because in your describing that, you said Verizon and Comcast and Xfinity. You used all 3 words.
yeah.
What is your system you have?
Well, Comcast is the
Xfinity.
old Xfinity.
Yeah.
So it's really Xfinity and Verizon Wireless, and we changed Verizon Wireless for our cell phones over to Xfinity.
Oh, so you didn't have an all-in-one. You had Verizon and Xfinity in your home.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm still, and I applaud you for even sitting down, because we've been paying Verizon for 3 years. My husband's been home for 2 years, and every month we say, this is ridiculous.
Right.
Why are we paying all this money?
Right.
But it's such a pain in the neck to sit down and call them. So now I will say, my new
Do it.
friend Gail did.
Right. It was worth it.
Mhm.
Yes.
I have a follow-up question with that, though. I had gotten like a 2-year deal supposedly, and then at the end of 2 years, of course, it goes up. Well, the last time that happened, I called them, and as soon as I called them, they said, oh yeah, we've got another deal. And it's supposed to be for 2 years. Now it's been longer than 2 years. So I don't dare call and see if they've got something better because supposedly it's supposed to go more. So is that down, might there still be a better deal than what I thought I was gonna, I keep watching my bill every month to see if it goes higher, then I'm gonna call them and say, well, hey, is there another deal? But do you think I should be proactive and do it anyway? Or do you think they just have, I might as well stick with what I've got?
You could do an internet search with your provider and see if there's usually the big ones they advertise deal wise are listed on the website somewhere.
Yeah,
So
but
you could
that's-
see
that's-
if it's under sometimes they make special advantages if you've been their customer for 25 years and
Huh.
you're going to leave them and you threaten the leave factor, which
Well, I
It
find that
works.
internet deals though are third-party deals. And then when you start trying to talk to Verizon about it, well, that's not our deal. And that was a mess, but
even on their
So-
website, usually I
Yeah.
see deals on their website.
well, I forget how it worked out yet, but I was really messed up with that. But the other thing is, my router, I pay $10, I think it is every month for it. But if something goes wrong with it, they are out with a new one immediately. So to me, that's worth it instead of buying your own and then it breaks and then you gotta buy another one.
That's
in-
true.
In my last 6 years or so, I think it's happened twice that
Mhm.
I got a new one. So, as much as I hate paying rent, it's maybe worth it.
Right,
Um,
right. That's true.
I-
That is true.
I would argue how often do they come and replace it? Because there have been times where when I've upgraded, there's actually a better router experience and it's cheaper and I save money in the long term.
Mhm.
So you get better service. And there was once that they actually replaced it for free for me when they came in person because it was so old.
Oh, well, my routers, it's always free when they come in, it's because when I'm renting it, it's just, they upgrade
But
it.
I've purchased it and they
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
too.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I unless you're replacing it every 6 months, I would switch over to buying it.
The router.
I think it's going to save you money long term. Even if they come every year or two.
I'm on about 3 or 4 years now on my router and modem.
Chuck,
I
do you,
bought-
do
I
do you
bought them-
own them? Do you
I
own
own
yours?
them. I own them outright. I bought them at Best Buy in Delaware with no tax. And it's my own router and my own modem. I've had no problems.
Is that
Every
Verizon?
4 or 5 years, I update it because they're bigger, faster, better.
Chuck, Verizon or Infinity?
I'm in
Infinity.
Comcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
and I do
where-
Verizon and I do the same thing. So you've got both Verizon and Comcast people doing that.
Where would you go in Delaware to?
I
Best
go to
Buy.
Best Buy and at Concord Mall.
Okay,
Yeah.
And the boxes usually will tell you that they're designed for Comcast. And I
Right.
think you want, what is it? DOS 3.0 right now. Let me find the box. I'll get right back to you
okay,
here.
thank you. And then my next question would be, Scott and I, not being techie, could we actually do this?
See, that's my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as simple as taking one box and wiring the other box the same way.
Okay,
Worst case, you'll have to call Comcast tech support and
Or Chuck.
Or Steven.
well, the
Call
problem
Chuck.
the last time my modem that I bought was what they said was too new. It wasn't in their system yet. So I had to give them all the numbers that were on the box, very easy to find. And they had to put it in their system before they could connect it from them to me. But it was pretty simple, basically, once they got the information that they needed.
But Chuck, I have a question. Are your router and modem two different pieces of equipment?
Yes,
Comcast,
I've got Comcast and it's an all-in-one, which I also got at Best Buy.
Well, you can buy them all in one.
But the thing is, that yes, they're plenty fast, but for me to get that speed from Comcast, it's going to cost me a small fortune. So I'm still getting 3 megabytes per second down. I don't want to spend $60 a month extra just to be a little faster.
At the time I bought them, one or both of the items, I forget what it was, were on sale, which made the combination of the two cheaper than the all-in-one unit.
Mm,
So that's why I ended up buying two
Two.
separate pieces.
right.
And, you know, they were both on the approved list from Comcast, which you can get on their website.
Right.
And if you ask the guys at
Best Buy.
Best Buy, they're very good at, you know, if you tell them what your situation is and how you plan to use your modem and router, they make recommendations as to what they would suggest you need. Just like Gail was saying when she was talking to the lady on the phone the other day, they make suggestions, and it's been fine for me.
Mhm.
Mhm. The only issue would be if you upgrade your service when you talk to them from coax to Ethernet, which is now starting to be a thing, especially for Verizon people, because you get faster speeds that way. And they might need to come in and install the Ethernet
Right.
because your house only has coax import.
Yeah, I'm still on coax.
If that's the case, then you don't have to worry about it.
That's the way the house was wired.
Yeah, I am also, and I have a real issue trying to run a new Ethernet cable through a 200-year-old house.
Ah, yes.
And I guess I'm gonna have them come in and maybe pull the Ethernet through using the coax cable to get it up and about.
Mm.
Mm,
That's what we did.
good
And
luck with that. Yeah.
if you buy your own equipment, then do you have to return the cables, equipment?
Mhm.
Usually,
Yes.
And
Oh,
then-
the rental, yes.
Right.
The rental
And
one.
do they take that rental off your bill?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to notify them that you're purchasing your own?
No.
You could just drop it off at their store.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want this anymore.
Yeah. You can go up to I think the Exton store is still open. It was closed for a while during the pandemic, but I think it's open again now.
Another thing when you're talking to these reps about your service, see if you can get them to up your internet speeds at the same time. A lot of times you don't think, or they don't offer to upgrade your internet speeds, but then they're offering at their basic plan a much higher speed than what you're currently paying for. So unless you're like Connie, who's in Marist Grove, and it's much harder to manage because you have to go through Marist Grove, you can get faster internet speeds, which will make things a lot easier for you when streaming things, when on Zoom meetings, things like that. Downloading, uploading. So it's just not fun to talk to them.
You got to get a hold of them first.
Right.
Yep.
you might end up with writer's cramp pushing keys on your phone to make that happen, but
I think one of the most frustrating things in this world right now is not being able to talk to people and being forced to go computer before you can possibly get to a person. It's unhealthy. It makes my blood pressure go up.
Right.
And I think we've talked about this before at Tech Time, but it's been a while, about how these large tech companies use dark patterns to try to trick you into keeping your service because it's so hard to get out of them.
Mhm.
To delete your, say, Amazon account or anything, you have to go through all these drastic hoops before you can even do it. There's no like, just turn it off
Right.
button. And same with Verizon and Comcast. If you move or want to cancel, you have to do it over the phone. You can't do it online.
Hmm.
It's just evil.
It is.
It's sometimes easier to say this person died or something.
You know what? That actually didn't work
Oh, really?
my father-in-law passed away in 2014. Getting the phone company to take the account from his name to my mother-in-law's name took
Oh,
almost a
terrible.
year.
Yeah,
Oh, my gosh.
it's awful. It's awful.
When my
Bill, does all
brother,
that stuff make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. When my brother moved into my grandmother's house, he ended up just switching internet providers because it was too complicated to get his name on her accounts and his credit card.
Mhm.
It's crazy what they do. It's
It is.
evil.
Gail, do those two links help?
Yes, one is for a streaming player and the other is about cable cards.
Right,
That-
and you would put the card in the player and it would turn it into a DVR that Xfinity approves of.
Okay. All right. That it is helpful. I'm going to go take, oh, I have a little question. Now, you said modem and what's the other word? Modem, router. Thank you. I'm familiar with the router. That's the like tall, skinny thing. It's about a foot tall and 2
Yeah.
inches. How do I know?
Your router has a modem in it.
Oh, it does. Okay. All right. So I only need one piece, right? Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Now we have a working knowledge of how the internet works and internet companies and how evil they are.
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
can I
I
ask?
think we should all get together and start our own.
I hear good things about Google Fiber, but it's not around yet. And I would think it would have horrible customer service
Yes.
because it's Google. Yes, Miss Karen.
Can I go back to just a couple basic questions? Would you define what the router and what the modem are?
Stephen could probably explain this better than I could.
Nice move, Lynn.
Okay, back in the day, the modem connected your phone to the internet provider
The
and
landline?
let your computer process internet signals.
Are you speaking
Now-
about the landline?
That was the landline.
Okay.
Now, most people have internet bringing in cable bringing in the internet signal. The modem is built into the router, and the router allows hardwired internet connections and Wi-Fi. It creates Wi-Fi, the radio signals that go out through your house, and keeps track of what computers are talking to the internet in what conversations.
Yeah, Stephen, when you say it's a distributor in the house?
Yes. Yes, it's a distributor of signal.
Right.
Because what you'll have two different connections, and the modem couldn't distinguish between those two different connections. So they created routers so that you could have more than one device connected to the same internet.
At the same
Connection.
time.
About
Does
how
that
much,
make sense to everyone? Or have we lost people?
No, no,
Well-
that was basic. And I
Karen's still
remember,
got a puzzle on her face.
Yeah.
It's all right, Steve.
I think, Stephen, you did a great job and I tried to follow you as best I could. And it is helpful because you know what? You told me that it's helpful. My modem is inside my router. So
Yes.
I understood you said that and that is helpful. But you know, we don't have PhDs in what But-
What the router lets us do is that Bill can be on our hardwired, I mean, our computer, big computer that's in another room. I can be sitting here with my laptop and we can have a TV on all at once. And they're all being routed through the router.
Think of
signals
the
so that-
router as a switchboard operator.
Right,
Okay,
it routes things.
yeah.
just what
Taking
it said.
taking the one conversation and connecting it to the one device, taking the other conversation and connecting it to the other device. Think of it as physical wires, and the router has those wires in it and connects them and disconnects them the way they need to be.
And does it wirelessly.
Yes. No, there are wires in the router.
Well, yes, but I know, but there's not wires from the router to my laptop or from the router to our computer in another room.
But it can be.
Yeah.
There,
And
there
use
was
an
a,
Ethernet cable with a router.
there was a time when meetings had a router in the center of the table, a bunch of cables going to it.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
That was
I,
before Wi-Fi.
I remember those days. Okay, now that makes sense. Okay,
And most businesses are still heavily wired that way.
yeah.
I mean, some of them rely on Wi-Fi, but their critical businesses don't rely on Wi-Fi. They still rely on Ethernet cables.
Mhm.
okay, I can throw a monkey wrench in it now here. I also have a Vonage device because my phone goes through Vonage. My phone comes from the internet to Vonage. And is that a router or is that whatever the other thing was?
Modem.
Modem?
Modem, yeah. Because it goes from my internet, it goes from my router to the whatever this Vonage thing is to give me telephone service.
Yeah, that
modem.
is neither it's more like a modem, but it's not a true modem.
Okay,
It's just a converter to get the telephone signal out of the cable into your phone.
okay.
Yes. So multiple parties trying to make it their own stuff too, that always adds a hiccup. It helps when it's one company and it all
Yep.
speaks their same language. The more companies you add, the more hodgepodge and confusing and more likely things go wrong.
It's
Yeah.
hard to get competitors to standardize.
Yeah, right.
Because it make things easier and happier for the customer and they would have less money to spend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you would be less inclined to get the what is it, $14.99 Verizon will help you with your computer service. Oh, something like that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, when FiOS came through and they disconnected my copper wires, Verizon also disconnected my phone. They didn't connect it to the FiOS. And so they wanted to charge me $90 to hook up my phone. And I said, well, why? You unhooked it. And first they're telling me, no, we didn't. Well, I have a friend who knows how to get into the telco box that nobody's supposed to get into. And he said, here it is, your copper wire's cut, so.
Mhm.
So I just refused to use Verizon for phone from then on. It just, they kept after me, it would be much better. And I said, yeah, you are the one that stopped my Verizon phone. I was happy with it until you messed it up. So from then on, it's been, but Vonage isn't good. Vonage was good at first and now it's not good. Anyway, I mean, oh, for the days when we had a phone that worked all the time and you didn't get cut off or you didn't get one person hearing and the other person not. Oh, I would love those days.
Well, those were the days when you could go to the box or the bridge on the side of your house and see if you had a signal from the street.
Mhm.
You could put a mod jack right into the box and test it. You can't do that anymore.
I didn't know that was a thing. I learned something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to know, probably.
Yes, yes.
That's why Oliver had to climb the pole to use his phone.
Yeah.
Green Acres.
Mhm.
Yes.
Good times.
Lynn, I have a question.
Yes, of course.
Do you know anything about NordVPN?
Other than that, it's a VPN that Norton has that people seem okay with.
I don't know anything about it. They're offering a deal right now of $329 a month for 2 years, which I
What
thought was
is it?
pretty good.
That's a steal.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
You have a VPN line for your internet so that it encrypts everything going out and coming in.
VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. So it makes sure that everything you do on your network at home is private. So nobody can track things to you. No one can get it. Just makes you a lot safer internet user. And it's what they're telling folks in like Russia and Ukraine to do now, so that they can get information privately and securely. So it's one more additional layer to do, like protect yourself from hackers and spammers.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Chuck, that is $3.29 and not $329.
$3.29 a month. Yes.
Wow.
2-year contract.
Wow.
What
Yep.
I'm trying to find out is how much is it going to cost a month after 2 years? And I can't find that anywhere.
Of course
They
not.
haven't decided.
Well, that's probably true. That's a possibility. What, Stephen?
I know that Avast charges about $60 or $70 a year for VPN service,
Mm-hmm.
$5 a month.
and they'll put it on sale for about 50 sometimes,
Okay.
just as a point of reference.
But is that an add-on to like to Norton or to Avast? Well, Avast is.
Yeah. Well, it depends. With Avast, it depends on what product you get. Some of the products include the VPN.
Okay. But Chuck, what about yours? You have to have Norton and then you get it from Norton.
I didn't
once you're
get that
over-
impression.
Oh, okay.
I got the
It's
impression
one layer of Norton. So there's multiple programs they offer. And like Comcast and Verizon, you can bundle them together, which is what Dan Wilcox does. But you can buy things individually.
Same with Avast. You can buy layers, or you can buy their bundle that gives you a bunch of different products.
Well, there's your answer, Chuck. After the Norton, if you're using just that, if they'll say, well, if you buy the rest of Norton, we'll give it to the V.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be 16 catches at the end of the 2 years that gonna have to deal with. But
At the end of the 2 years, you'll probably end up going with somebody else anyway.
well, that's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, because they are always rolling out new ones and things, and you're seeing VPNs advertised everywhere. Browsers are starting to sell them now with
Yeah.
Firefox and things like that.
What is the story with McAfee VPN?
I haven't looked into that one.
No.
Why is
I
there a
mean,
story?
McAfee and Norton were the two old timers in the the antivirus
Mhm.
business. But it seems as though Norton maybe has a leg up these days. And I'd heard you mention it before, in one of our other meetings, but nothing specific.
I don't remember saying that. I probably did.
No, not that specifically, but something about McAfee, and then moved on to another topic.
There might have been a hack type thing. Last week, Rob left, but he had some kind of fake McAfee he was trying to block on his email.
It was a fake McAfee?
It was a spam email that he was trying to block because it was someone pretending to be McAfee in phishing emails.
Right.
But I'm trying to remember. Yeah, but I feel like there was something in the news about McAfee and I don't remember what it is.
Sounds like time for a Google search.
Yes.
Okay, just thought since you were talking about VPNs, I had a VPN offering from McAfee, and I was
That
wondering whether,
makes sense.
yeah,
I think of McAfee and Norton pretty, comparable, kind of like Verizon and Comcast. They're both not great, but that's what we've got.
yeah, and they've been out there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, McAfee came on my laptop free for a year. And then when I was up it, they gave me a price of, I forget what it was, but that was for multiple devices. And I didn't realize it because I didn't have multiple devices to have it on. So, I'm paying through the nose, well, not through the nose necessarily, but paying for something I'm not getting at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have plenty of multiple devices these days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
phone, iPad, laptops.
Speaking of VPN stuff, if you're an iPhone user, there is a private relay, kind of like a VPN beta thing on your iCloud if you want to try turning that on. I don't know enough about that yet, but it's under your iCloud settings.
Are
So,
there any negatives to using a VPN? I mean, you use it all the time, right?
yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
especially useful if you're in public Wi-Fi.
when you're traveling,
Yeah.
when you're at coffee shops, when you are places that are outside your home. Yeah. It's pretty, yeah. Ideally, everyone should use one, but again, money is a
But
factor.
once you have it on your device, then you always have it, right? It's not sometimes you're using it and sometimes you're not, right?
You're
As
always
long as
You
it's
turn
a
it on
cloud
and
based.
off.
Oh, you can turn it on and off,
Yeah,
but why would you turn it off?
crickets.
Great.
Don't know, but you can.
Okay.
I don't know. You can
Does
share.
somebody else know that you're using that? Do you know what I mean? Does it change anything about your conversations, or,
Couldn't.
but you use the word encrypted?
What it means is if somebody tries to hack you, they're actually not able to get to your physical computer because your internet connection is being routed all over the place.
It says you live in China, even though you're in Westchester.
Okay, then how do we share our computers on the Zoom?
It's all it's all in code.
So if you watch CIA shows or anything like that, you know how they're trying to identify a certain person or computer when they're hunting down something. So hackers, when they're trying to get your information, they're on their computer trying to log in and hack into your thing, and they need your IP numbers for your computer. Each device has an IP number and code and things. And so you're VPN will privatize and encrypt things so they can't break it. They can't break into your internet as easily. So it kind of is a barrier wall around your house. So you can think of them as like attacking your cloud. And that makes sense? Or am I talking above your heads again?
Loud.
The bad guys are trying to attack our cloud.
Yes.
Right. Basically, it puts an umbrella over your house, but the umbrella looks like it's in another state
Or country.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like the Rolling Stones song, "Hey, you get off of my cloud."
Cloud.
Yes. Very good.
Oh,
Very
Gail.
good.
Gail, you are funny.
And Lynn's going, rolling who?
Oh, that one. I'm not that young.
Man, I had an interesting thing happen yesterday. Bill
Mhm.
mentioned Spotify for whatever reason, and I said, "Oh, I have Spotify on my phone,"
Mhm.
and I clicked on it, and it had my name. And then when I went to my account, it was some account I'd never seen before in my life or anything else. I just deleted Spotify is what I did, but because it looked like somebody had taken over my Spotify. Not that I mean, I almost never use it. So I didn't try doing it. Oh, it wanted me to send an email to confirm that I was who I was. And they were going to send the email to this weird email address. So somebody had taken it over, I guess.
Yeah, that is known to happen, that people are able to hack into and get your password, and then they play things that you really don't want anybody playing on your
So
Spotify.
they weren't right, but I haven't used it, so I'm not paying for it. I only had the free version.
Okay.
Deleting it from my phone was probably the smartest thing to do, right?
What you want to do is delete the account.
I deleted the whole. I went to I clicked on the thingy and held it down until it says delete this, and are you sure you want to delete it? And I said yes.
So you just deleted the app. You did
Yeah,
not delete
you
your
just
account.
uninstalled the app.
Well, I don't know how to get to the account any other way.
Go to the website, spotify.com most likely, and you
Okay.
can log in. And what you want to do,
I can try to log in, and if I can't.
what you need to do is you need to remove that email address so that person doesn't have access to it. And
But
yeah,
I have to be able to get into the account. This
yes.
is what happened with Skype. This is how I knew my Skype was hacked, because I couldn't get into it to close it, because you have to sign in to be able to close it.
Mhm.
I went through what I went round and round with Microsoft, and they finally froze the account that had taken it over, and eventually it went away.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thankfully, your Spotify account does not have a credit card linked to it.
Right.
So it's a blessing in that regard, but I'd still reach out to Spotify and try to get it removed,
Oh, I know.
because
Okay.
your email is compromised then.
Right.
And which is another good reminder of this is what happens when you don't have strong passwords. So change your passwords often and use strong passwords.
Well, yeah, and I signed up for Spotify 100 years ago, so
What
it
is
may even still be under
Spotify?
my Comcast email.
So Gail talked about Pandora earlier today, which is a streaming platform to play music. And Spotify is their competitor. They are another streaming music platform. They're the ones I use rather than Pandora. Both Pandora and Spotify, there's a free package where you can stream music with ads. So you can pretty much, instead of listening to the radio, you can listen to Spotify or Pandora. And the nice thing about that is you can pick the music you want. If you just want the Rolling Stones or the Beatles, you can do that, and you don't have to listen to whatever the radio is playing. But the free version does have ads. So, but you can also pay for it without ads, kind of like you would Netflix or Hulu or any of those. And and then you can stream music without ads. And so a lot of people, that's what they do when they're in the car and stuff, because they're not wanting to hear ads like you would on the radio. So, and they have family packages, which is what I'm part of with Spotify. A group of friends and I split a family account. So we don't get the ads. I think it's like $20 a year for all of us to be a
Really?
family member. Yeah. It's like I think there's 6 people, and and what we do is the person who owns the account sends us a Venmo once a year. This year it's $25 or whatever, $30.
Oh,
and-
each.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because Shelley's spending 10 a month for.
Yeah, that would make
Spotify
sense.
Premium.
Yeah. Because you're not dividing it among 6 people.
No. I don't know, I guess I can't use that. We'd have to go to a family plan, which would cost more than we want.
Yeah. So the family plan would allow you to have different music histories. So you could listen to different music. Like, I don't want the music that, my friend is listening to, because I have no interest in whatever they're listening to. So it's personal, similar to Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah, you just want to listen to the Rolling Stones.
Exactly. All I want to hear is Rolling Stones with Gail's cover of them.
Yes, no ABBA.
So what happened in Connie's case is somebody hacked into her account and starting listening to ABBA. So all she has is
That's his
ABBA.
Don't have anything.
Nothing wrong with ABBA.
ABBA.
I went to Spotify.com and I tried signing in with my Gmail account, and I have the password written down in my little book, and it said incorrect, username or password. And then I went to my old Comcast one, which is the one that Skype got hacked, and I'm sure they were hacked at the same time. And
Probably.
it still said incorrect. So I have no way of signing into Spotify.
Oh,
Then yes, you'd have to reach out to the company, or
Who were they owned by?
they're an independent
Google.
company. Oh, are they owned by Google?
No, I don't know. They own everything.
bizarre.
Well,
I
see,
think
mine is
they're-
owned by
Apple.
Microsoft, so good luck on that one. So that's
I
why
think they're a
asked.
private company still.
I'm sure they are.
Oh, okay,
Right.
well, see if I can
So
do that.
long.
So while we're on all these big frustrating companies, Renee, did you have a question about Microsoft account on your computer?
Oh, yes, if that's okay. You asked me, what do I have that I'm paying for? And it says Microsoft 365.
Mhm. Is that a
And,
private account or like
well,
a one user or a multi-user?
I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out, if it's a multi-user. So I guess we can have, I can call them or something.
Mhm. If you have a username and password, you could log into the website too, and it will
Okay.
probably tell you. Or you could go to another device and just try loading it. And if it
Uh-huh.
goes, you've only got one account,
Right.
it will
Yeah.
yell at you and say you can't install Word or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's basically, we have Excel and Word on the desktop, but so anytime I want to change a password or whatever, I gotta come upstairs and go on that computer. It'd be nice to do it on my laptop. So I will find that out.
You can
For you.
network your computer so that you can see the files from upstairs, downstairs.
If I can, I don't know how.
We
So-
can show you.
So that's why I have to find out about if the $7.41 covers the house or just the desktop.
Mhm.
And then I'll be able to get Microsoft on on the laptop.
Mhm.
Of course, that's also after I finish loading
Installing.
it.
But if you have Office 365 and you
Uh-huh.
store your documents in Microsoft 365
Uh-huh.
versus your documents on your computer,
Uh-huh.
you could sync them so you can see them on all your computers. So
Oh,
instead of
okay.
saving them to your desktops on the
Desktop.
hard drive, it
Yeah.
stores them in your Dropbox in the cloud on
Yeah.
Microsoft server, which means that you could access them on all locations, whether it's on your phone or on a desktop, or if you wanted to like remote it, if you are
Yeah.
traveling and you're with, a friend and they have a computer,
Yeah.
you could log in on
My
their
own stuff
laptop.
on
and-
their laptop.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. I learned a lot today.
So yeah, so if you figure those questions out, we can do
You
part
can
2
help me,
next week.
yes. But thank you for telling me what questions to ask.
Cool.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we part for the week?
Just have a question, Lynn. You know, the talk that Don gave on Tuesday, I saw it said it was recording it. Is there
Do
a
you
way
need
to
a
send-
link?
Is there a way to send the link?
It will be in today's email. It will be at the bottom. There's a whole section of links.
Oh,
There'll be a link there if I forget to send it to you, but it's on YouTube right now too. So
yeah, I know that. I wanted to be able to send it to somebody.
Was that Don's address to the Tuesday morning group?
Yeah, yeah.
Good. I
It
missed
was
it.
great.
No,
It was
Yeah,
really
sure.
terrific.
Yeah, my wife said she enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
I was traveling that day and couldn't tune
Yeah.
in.
Well, I heard it, but I want to keep it. So
Yeah.
It's, there are lots of good things. He said lots of good things about in terms of with a new pastor, with new music people and all the rest that it's worth listening to.
Yeah, it's a big change.
Mm.
it's an interesting time for the church. Lots of
Mm.
transitions.
You're not allowed to leave, you know.
Do you have a new pastor yet?
No.
Have they?
No, still the PNC is close, but that's
Right.
They're not telling it yet.
No, we'll just keep
The-
praying for them, huh?
yeah,
pres-
that's all we can do.
Mhm.
Presbyterian Church here in Charlotte, North Carolina, has been over 2 years without a full-time pastor so
Mhm.
far.
We are really, really lucky that it's like a year and we're only at a year and they're almost ready.
Fair.
And we're
Yeah.
not without the pastor because the one in North Carolina is doing it the old way, probably where they have an interim.
Mhm.
They do.
And
And
we are
she's,
not getting an interim.
she's good.
We're
She's
well,
very
that's-
good in room, but
That becomes part of the problem too. And then you want to hire the interim and it used to be, I don't know if it's changed, that the rules were you couldn't hire the interim for your full time once they'd been your interim.
Well,
So-
things have changed so much with that, in terms of an interim, that was to help set up so there was a gap in between, but now there's not enough pastors to go around, so.
Well, I'm not sure that's the reason that they're doing it, but the
Yeah.
other thing is that it's good for smaller churches that don't have multiple pastors.
Yes.
Then they're without anybody, and so then.
Especially for
That's true.
churches that need kind of a revisioning, they need like a kind of
Right,
pause
they've been
and
having
separation
problems. Or they-
because,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
They need
That's-
someone to come in and go,
absolutely, Lynn, that's a lot of what is going on here.
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
as-
here it's narrowed to 2 men and 1 woman.
as Don said yesterday, that if you have a head pastor who is so charismatic,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
who is worshipped instead of worshiping
church.
God, that churches often need a break to be able to get over that before they can deal with a new pastor.
Yeah, it's like a death.
Mhm.
Hey, Gail, you just gave away some stuff that's not supposed to be public knowledge.
Oh, but you know what? It's way public.
It's a
I'm-
Supreme Court leak.
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you,
everybody.
guys. Have a good
Thank
week.
you.
Have a great week.
Yeah.
Bye.